tonight on First at 9 this Saturday the 31st of May 2025. Weather havoc. Torrential rains and strong winds continue to wreak havoc. Met Department warns extreme weather patterns to persist. New COVID variant. New COVID variant spreading in Asia identified in Sri Lanka. Health authorities advise vulnerable groups to wear masks and avoid crowded areas. Asset freeze. Sri Lanka freezes all funds, financial assets and economic resources belonging to designated individuals, groups and entities under the UN regulations. LTTE ban renewed.
Cinec Campus Open Day. May masa 3 වෙනි දින උදෑසන 9 සිට Cinec Campus පරිශ්‍රයේදී.
This is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to Derana First at 9, Sri Lanka's most trusted news source. I am Derana, joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. We begin with your top story. Heavy rains and gusty winds continue to wreak havoc across Sri Lanka today, with collapsed buildings and uprooted trees severely injuring a number of people. Sri Lanka's Met Department noted that the extreme weather patterns are expected to continue over the course of tomorrow. India's Meteorology Department, meanwhile, offered hope of reprieve, confirming that the prevailing southwest monsoon system is gradually moving away from Sri Lanka towards India's Kerala.
The prevailing southwest monsoon conditions continue to affect the island nation for yet another day today. The highest rainfall within the past 24 hours was recorded from Norton, which received 74.3 millimeters of rain. Many areas across the island experienced heavy rainfall and strong winds. In Colombo, traffic along Vijayarama Mawatha, Maitland Place and many other routes were disrupted owing to uprooted trees. Officials of the Colombo Municipal Council promptly commenced operations to remove fallen trees. A tree collapsed onto a three-wheeler parked at Brandigampala on the Hangwella Labugama main road. Two persons who were seated inside the three-wheeler sustained injuries, while a transmission line system which was located nearby was also damaged. In the meantime, 120 persons belonging to 28 families of a portion of the Somerset estate in Nanuoya were evacuated amid risks of landslides. Evacuation efforts were directed by the Disaster Management Unit of Nuwara. Meanwhile, 15 residences in Bandar were damaged owing to rains and strong winds in the area. Our reporters confirmed that residences located within the Kotalawala, Raigama West, Bandaragama, Walgama North, Yatiyana and Kindalpitiya Gram Niladari divisions have been damaged owing to collapsed trees. Meanwhile, an individual was hospitalized after an old building situated in Pilimatalawa collapsed onto a three-wheeler. The Ceylon Electricity Board noted that over 61,000 power outages were reported from across the island during the 43-hour period, which ended at 3 p.m. today, owing to adverse weather conditions.
A lot of breakdowns have been reported across the country. In most cases, the trees have fallen and that has resulted in the power lines and poles to come down. So this has in fact created a dangerous situation, and we urge public that do not touch or go near these fallen power lines because they are very dangerous. So what you have to do instead is to report to the Ceylon Electricity Board. There you can use either 1987, the short code, the telephone number, or the CB Care app. You can lodge the complaint. As of 3 p.m. today, for the last 43 hours, there are about 61,700 cases been reported, out of which we have been able to repair 23,220 cases. Our teams are working tirelessly. The climate is not good. CB people, they are risking their own safety sometimes to restore your power as quickly as possible. So CB has deployed additional teams. When it comes to restoration, we give priority to the lines where the hospitals and where there are many people. So in that endeavor, maybe the individual homes or places assets. So their restoration may delay to a certain extent. So CB in fact greatly values your cooperation and support. So we'll make every effort to restore the power supply in the country as soon as possible.
According to the latest situation report of the Disaster Management Centre, 5,974 persons of 1,579 families are affected by the prevailing inclement weather. The report also indicates that a total of 1,545 residences have been partially damaged from torrential rains and strong winds. Taking the prevailing weather patterns into consideration, the National Building Research Organisation issued Level 1 yellow early landslide warnings to several areas in the Galle, Kandy, Kegol, Nuwara and Ratnapura districts. When contacted by Ada Derana, scientist at the India Meteorology Department, Dr. Naresh Kumar confirmed that the low-pressure system is moving away from Sri Lanka towards Kerala, India. As per the latest reports of the Met Department of Sri Lanka, the prevailing showery weather patterns are expected to continue throughout the day tomorrow. Thereby, showers or thunder showers are likely at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Matara districts. Fairly strong winds of about 30 to 40 kilometers per hour are expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills and in the northern, north central and northwestern provinces, as well as in the Hambantota and Trincomalee districts.
The Medical Research Institute confirms that the new COVID variant currently spreading in Asia have been identified in Sri Lanka. Consultant virologist Dr. Jude Jaimaha stated that while the situation is being closely monitored, there is no cause for undue public concern at this time. However, health authorities advise vulnerable groups to take precautions such as wearing masks and avoiding crowds.
The Medical Research Institute has identified the new variant of the COVID virus currently spreading in Asia in Sri Lanka after testing of biological samples collected from several hospitals in the country. However, consultant virologist at the Medical Research Institute, Dr. Jude Jaimaha, advised the public not to have undue fear regarding the new COVID variant. Health officials named pregnant mothers, the elderly as well as chronically ill patients the most vulnerable to the virus and noted that those belonging to the said groups must follow health guidelines such as wearing masks and avoiding crowded spaces. In the meantime, a 1.5-month-old infant recently deceased at the National Hospital in Galle was identified to have been infected by COVID. When contacted by Ada Derana, the hospital's director noted that the infant's biological samples were sent to the Colombo Medical Research Institute, where it was uncovered that the infant was infected by the COVID virus. However, he also went on to say that the infant was not infected by the new variant.
Sri Lanka announced the freezing of all funds, financial assets and economic resources belonging to designated individuals, groups and entities in accordance with the United Nations Regulations No. 1 of 2012. The relevant Gazette Extraordinary has been issued by Defence Secretary Air Vice Marshal Sampath Thuyakonta. The Gazette notification bans 15 terrorist organizations and 217 individuals to prohibit the carrying out of terrorist activities, maintaining assets and using funds for terrorist activities. Additionally, the list of designated persons, groups and entities has been updated. Accordingly, the first organization to be further banned is the LTTE. The World Tamil Movement, the Transnational Government of Tamil Eelam and the National Tawheed Jamaat are also among the designated organizations.
සිනෙක් කැම්පස් ඕපන් ඩේ මැයි මස 3 වැනි දින උදෑසන 9 සිට සිනෙක් කැම්පස් පරිශ්‍රයේදී
President Anura Dissanayake vows to eliminate Sri Lanka's deeply entrenched criminal network which operated under political patronage. Speaking at an event in Anuradhapura, the head assured that the government is committed to upholding the concept of equality before the law and asserted that power and wealth can no longer be used to avoid justice. A newly constructed relic house and Bodhisattva statue at the Pahaminiyagama Sri Samadhi Mahavihara in Galkiriyagama, Anuradhapura were unveiled last evening under the patronage of President Anura Dissanayake.
I will promise you one thing. We will exert maximum effort to make this country better for future generations. The economy is essential to transform our country into a wealthy nation. Therefore, we are committed to developing the economy. We will definitely uphold the concept of equality before the law. We will demonstrate that power and wealth are not tools that can be used to circumvent the law. In fact, that has already been demonstrated to some extent. Narcotic drugs have become a menace in rural areas. 2 days ago, we seized one of the largest consignments of narcotics in our country's history. Armed gangs, drug traffickers and illicit businessmen all have relationships with politicians and top government officials. This is a web of crime. Give us some time. I assure you that we will eliminate this criminal network from Sri Lanka.
සාහතික වශයෙන් මේ අපරාධ ජාලය ලංකාවෙන් තුරන් කරන බව මම ඔබට සාතික කරනවා.
Several stakeholders are urging government to reconsider its decision to restrict the admission of local civilian day scholars to the Faculty of Medicine at the Kotalawala Defence University. This comes as a group of parents lodged a complaint with the Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka, challenging the government's decision to seeking redress. The General Surgery on Kotalawala Defence Academy, which was established with the objective of producing qualified graduates for the Triforces, was elevated to a fully fledged university in 2009. Civilian student enrollment was later approved in 2012, expanding its academic reach. At its inception, only cadet officers and foreign students were eligible for admission for the medical degree of the KDU. Later in 2023, CITEM students were admitted to the KDU's medical faculty after completing basic admission requirements. This enrollment of civilian day scholars continued in 2024 as well. However, Deputy Minister of Defence Aruna Jayasekara recently announced in Parliament that the Kotalawala Defence University will limit admissions to its medical faculty to foreign students and cadet officers for the 2025 and 2026 academic years. In light of this development, the Kotalawala Defence University issued a notice via its official website that applications submitted for the 2025 and 2026 academic years will not be processed and payments made by applicants will be refunded in due course. When questioned about the rationale behind this decision, the Deputy Minister responded that the government's position would be clarified in future. Meanwhile, several parties criticised the government's decision.
We view the discontinuation as a curbing of opportunities granted to students. When the local students who were expecting to pursue this degree emigrate to Australia, Malaysia and India, Sri Lanka loses foreign currency reserves that could have been protected. As a former Minister of Education, I would like to question if this decision was made in consultation with education professionals or was it determined solely by an executive committee. Not all local students gain admission to state universities despite performing well in their advanced level examinations. Many capable students, particularly those aspiring to pursue medicine, are unable to secure places due to the limited number of medical faculties available in the state university system. This is deeply unfair to our students.
Against this backdrop, a group of parents of students who had applied to enroll in the medical faculty of the Kotalawala Defence University lodged a complaint with the Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka yesterday, opposing the government's decision. It is reported that the commission has taken prompt action to initiate an investigation into the matter. Leader of the Sarvajana Balaya parliamentarian Dilip Jayavira asserts that entrepreneurship should be incorporated into curricula if Sri Lanka is to achieve development. Addressing a convocation in Colombo, Jayavira went on to say that the country's youth must be taught to think creatively and empowered to create wealth. Leader of the Sarvajana Balaya parliamentarian Dilip Jayavira was the chief guest at the convocation of LPEC campus held last evening at the BMICH in Colombo.
There is no curriculum that educates a child to move forward creatively. We want to intervene to revise the Western education system which prevailed for 76 years to create a creative youth. Furthermore, we must create a generation of self-confident youth that thinks beyond traditional employment and can create wealth. We propose that entrepreneurship should be incorporated into curricula. There is no other way to develop the country or ourselves. We have to rapidly create wealth. There is only one way to do that. That is motivating the youth and teaching them to think creatively and encouraging them to create wealth. If this country receives no benefit from its youth, they become a liability to the country. From the first grade until university, we are never taught to think creatively. We were taught things that others thought of. With the widespread use of mobile phones, we have even less time to think. If this continues, that will lead to our destruction. We must think creatively.
The names of elected and nominated members for local government authorities have been officially published in the Government Gazette. This Gazette notification was issued by the Chairman of the Election Commission, RMAL Ratnayaka. The term of office of local government bodies is scheduled to commence on the 2nd of June 2025. Following the publication of the names of elected and nominated members, the Election Commission is scheduled to issue a subsequent Gazette notification announcing the names of the chairperson and deputy chairperson of each local government body. These individuals will be nominated by the political party that secured a majority of at least 50% of the total votes in the respective local authority during the recent elections. With that, here's a look at more thoughts shared in the political arena regarding the establishment of power in local government authorities.
Former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was compelled to step down primarily due to the severe economic crisis that gripped the country. Sri Lanka faced widespread fuel shortages, foreign reserves were depleted and the nation was declared bankrupt. As a result, foreign lenders withdrew their support and to this day, funding remains limited. An economic collapse inevitably impacts the country's political landscape. In such conditions, it becomes nearly impossible for any leadership to maintain its hold on power. If the current government also fails to revive the economy, people won't stay silent. They'll rise up again, just like before. The local government elections showed that the NPP had lost the support of the people. The ruling party is trying to reach the 50% mark by offering various perks, incentives and even positions in an attempt to hold on to power. We have no interest in making underhand deals with certain parties. As a government, our goal is to put an end to fraud and corruption in this country. That's the only way we can start addressing the real concerns of the people. Anyone who genuinely wants to support us in that effort is more than welcome to join.
The British woman who was arrested earlier this month at the Bandar Nayak International Airport while attempting to smuggle a consignment of cannabis into the country was further remanded after being produced before the Negombo Magistrates Court. During proceedings, the Defence Counsel submitted to court that the video published by the UK's Daily Mail, in which the suspect complained of alleged mistreatment at the Negombo prison, had been taken without her consent. It was revealed that the footage had been captured by individuals who had visited the suspect in prison, claiming to be journalists, via a camera disguised as a button. The British national was arrested by Sri Lanka Customs on the 12th of May while in possession of 46 kilograms of Kush cannabis. The case against her is scheduled to be recalled on the 30th of June and she will be held in remand custody until then. Welcome back. In your business news, President Anura Dissanayake visited the 20th Build Sri Lanka Housing and Construction International Exhibition organized by the Chamber of Construction Industry of Sri Lanka this morning. The exhibition features nearly 280 product stalls and serves as a key platform for stakeholders in the construction sector to foster relationships, explore business opportunities and gain exposure to cutting-edge designs and technological advancements. This year, more than 30,000 attendees are expected at the exhibition, providing consumers opportunities to purchase products and services from various international vendors. Sri Lanka's Purchasing Managers Index for construction declined to 41.4 in April 2025 from 54.3 in March, reflecting the seasonal slowdown in construction activities during the Sinhala and Tamil New Year period. However, the seasonal dip in April this year was less pronounced than in the corresponding month in the previous year. New orders recorded a decline in April, mainly attributed to the limited number of working days. However, the central bank said most survey respondents had noted that a growing number of construction projects were under evaluation, while several others were open for tender. Employment and quantity purchases also declined during the month due to the reduced volume of construction work undertaken. Meanwhile, suppliers' delivery system index further lengthened in April due to the holiday period. And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Derana First at 9. Thank you. Have a great night.